Go live now. Here we go. And I'll see how it turns out. Here we go. How's it going, everybody? You're not going to have the camera on you, right?
No, it's not set up to, really.
Okay.
This is my Photoshop window.
That's fine. That's fine.
I can wave. I can stick my head under the camera and wave.
Okay. Is everybody able to see us, or I'm just double checking to make sure that we're live before we get everything.
Oh, does it still have my desk for like my headshot thing? I guess I could.
Well, it has like your one desk over. There you go.
Bend. Let me bend this guy. How does this work? I have it on a gimbal. There we go.
Okay, here we go. Now I can see. I've got everything set up so everybody can see stuff. So, what is going on, everybody? Looks like we've got 18 people watching so far. Ironhide Productions, M Hat 1868, DZ Gaming, G1 Optimus Prime. It's your boy Doggo.
I saw one comment. Who's Matt Moylan? And then just a response. I don't know.
So if you want to know, guys, who Matt Moylan is, if you see the art here, this first of all, you got Chun-Li on the background in as a mermaid.
Oh yeah, that's an upcoming Udon cover here. Wait. Upcoming Street Fighter cover.
Oh, nice.
By Genzo Man from Chile.
Nice.
Yeah, I had it before this. I'm like, oh crap! I should clear everything off the desktop in case there's like a folder that says like this secret project or something. So dump everything.
That might be a little on the wise side, sure, for sure, because you probably have some what's the word I'm looking for, non-disclosure agreements, right?
Yeah.
That you can't tell me because it's redacted. I noticed you're doing for toy accurate with the with your classes and stuff.
Well, usually, I mean, some guys like I don't want to do a toy accurate Ironhide, really, but mostly, yeah. Start with a toy, then I don't know. Today though, I was like, I'm gonna draw Galvatron. Like every version of Galvatron is different. I don't know if people like. I grabbed a bunch of reference I had there inside, so probably draw them a little bit like the movie and a little bit like the toy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can like add certain details.
Yeah, the toy has a very silly head. So.
Yeah. Well, I think what was one of the earlier things that they actually used what's it called? Like they used the head for like one of the earlier promotional material for the movie.
Oh, okay.
And where's Perceptor? We need his cure for the roster. Right there in the middle. Yeah, we definitely need the cure for this cosmic rust. Everyone's saying ba weep grog na weep ninny bong.
Yeah, I finished 1985 and now 86. There's nobody who sucks. They're all fun characters.
I'm just tweeting out.
Oh, maybe I'll do that too. Let's see.
Just sharing the actual YouTube video itself. Doing my normal share. So, what do I think of the Seekers? Larkin's Lair. Hey, what's going on? He's one of my good friends from Hawaii. And I got Shiba Kobe is always in the chat, and
I remember that name. They've been around forever.
Mm-hmm. Will you? James Easton wants to know if you'll ever release your book for Lil Formers.
I guess I could do it. I mean, it's parody, but would it annoy Hasbro and they're one of our clients? So I don't know.
What do they think of your work? Have they, like, do they know that you do the stuff you do, or?
I don't know, I've never worked direct for Hasbro as an artist, but several licensors have hired me to do stuff. Like I did comic strips and art for the old Collectors Club magazine. I did T-shirt designs for 80s tees. Had some art in the IDW comics. So they must know. They have to approve it.
So if you're wondering what happened to the original stream, when I put this through StreamYard, it wouldn't let me use the same like announcement page. So it's weird like that. I don't know why it wouldn't let me like connect it the same way. But it works because at least we're all on, so.
I'm gonna try to go to your YouTube stream and grab the link before it becomes an audio echo or something.
I actually I put that on mute so I can like see how many people are watching, which like 68 people currently are watching Rise of right now.
Cool.
And just doing my my shares. We are live. Is there a Decepticon one for 1985? Yeah, you did all of 1985, yeah. So
I can open up that one in a second.
Lee Baker, okay. Thank you very much for the super chat. I'm supposed to be asleep, but you know how it is. It's what is it, 1 a.m. I guess where you are? You're in Europe, or everybody's on lockdown in New Jersey? I live in New Jersey, in the U.S. and it's actually we just got like as of 9 p.m. we're like on lockdown. You can only go to like the grocery store or like essential places now. They even want you not to go visit a relative.
It's mostly what we got here, but it's still suggested rather than like enforced at all.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the Decepticons.
There we go. Even the deluxe Insecticons.
Yeah, those guys are fun.
Definitely.
And yeah, Omega Supreme wouldn't fit on the Autobot one, so he's over here.
West Coast Canada. Definitely cool seeing some other characters you don't see everywhere. Omega Supreme and Devastator. What do you think of my my reconciling of their origin?
I haven't watched all the videos for a while. Let's see.
Basically, like the Decepticons at the time that they were built were, I mean, like when they weren't, like, we're at a time of peace, I guess, and like Megatron was was built as a gladiator, but wasn't necessarily built like as a like to be evil. He just turned out to be evil and recruited an army of Decepticons, and eventually he recruited the Constructicons themselves, and they got rebuilt on Earth. That's pretty much in a nutshell my video. Thank you very much for the super chat there, Kato.
I was gonna say, use that for the Dinobots too, something similar.
For the Dinobots, actually, I surmise that they had sparks on the Ark, and their bodies were built, and they had their sparks placed in them, but their brain modules were like messed up.
The first video I saw of yours, I think it was Ultra Magnus.
Okay.
And I remember just leaving on the background while I work on something and just listen to it, and just at some point I just switched back to the window. I'm like, hey, that's a piece of my art.
Yeah, I remember you like messaged me about that. I was like, yeah, of course I used your art. Your art's awesome. So You know, I've been like looking at like Little Formers like way back when you like first started. Like I remember seeing them. I'm like, dude, those are awesome looking. And then the comics were just hilarious to read. I love what was the one that like how like you go with like a lot of their personality like in each one of their episodes.
Yeah, I
You
wanted
know,
to do it. I was even thinking of it back in the Dreamwave days, but I wanted to find an artist who would draw it, and I didn't, figure of someone else. So after Dreamwave closed, I'll just try drawing it, see if that works.
Frostwitch wants to know what's my final verdict on that. The Constructicons build Megatron, or did he reprogram them? Both. Um, the Constructicons did build Megatron. It's just that they didn't build him because they were building someone to like rule the Decepticons. You know, remember everything that was told in the Matrix was a um, it was a like a summary of events. You know what I mean? Like it was only like they only like told you little tidbits. So the thing is they built Megatron, but they didn't like he eventually became the leader of the Decepticons. So it just so happens that they happen to build him.
And my lore knowledge has gotten so rusty. I used to be the guy who, they'd come to with the comic like, "What are all these eye colors right?" And like, "Well, the toy is yellow and the show is red, so I don't know." But now, like, I don't know. I have to look up everything.
Yeah, actually, I think I definitely used your art in the Rumble and Frenzy video because of that.
Ripper.
Yeah. Because like fear rib for life, man. So I thought toy reviewers were going to end in 2020. What happened? Okay, so toy reviewers are not really done and over with. Like everybody kind of like got overblown with Kappa. Um, what it really turned out to be was that if you know who your audience is, yeah, I don't put I don't make my stuff for kids. I make my stuff for fans of Transformers, and Transformers fans can be adults and can be kids, and most of the time I'm usually shooting for G1 fans, and G1 fans are adults, but I don't make my content that kids can't watch. So then Kappa is fine with that, like the way that Kappa, the actual rules for Kappa. So Matt Moylan, do you like Ultra Magnus or Optimus Prime? Rex Darman Reese wants to know.
Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus is awesome. Robert Stack voice.
Yep. All right, so I've got 69 viewers on here now. We might as well have you introduce yourself as who you are.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm Matt Moylan. Transformers wise, I did a webcomic for several years called Little Formers. It's making fun of Transformers and sometimes other things. Now I just draw on the side for fun, but before that I was post-production manager at Dreamwave Productions, who did the sort of first G1 Bringing It Back comics in like 2002 to 2004. I started as just like a graphics and web guy, and then after a year I became in charge of the post-production department, which is everything that's not creative, basically. It's like ads and trade paperbacks and posters and lettering and all that stuff. Everything that's not the writing and the drawing. And then after Dreamwave folded in 2004, I joined up with Udon Entertainment, who's best known for the Street Fighter comics, but it's kind of a minor thing that we do nowadays. I've been there like almost 15 years now.
Wow.
So yeah, we still do Street Fighter comics, but our main thing is video game art books, manga, some original art books, things like that. So I run the publishing division there.
Okay.
But we also do creative services for other people who might do artwork for video games or toys or films or whatever.
So you get a lot of like contract work for different things. Like might be Transformers, it might be Street
Yeah,
Fighter.
we've done Transformer stuff. I mean, we did like not IDW. Devil's Due hired us to do one of the art for one of the GI Joe Transformers crossovers. I forget what it was called. It was the one where Serpentor gets the Matrix.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yep. And we've done a bunch of random like movie books, like for the live action movies. Like who published them? Like kids books, like we did a book where it's got 3 parts. Like there's a robot in every page, and there's like a head part and a torso part and a legs part, and you like mix and match all the robots. So somebody's got to do art for little projects like that. Yeah, a bunch of who was it? It wasn't Scholastic. Somebody like that though, like a kids book producer.
Okay, so you get a lot of like you get like pretty much like one-off projects then, I guess, like with Udon, like more like you do get like your consistent stuff like Street Fighter. Like I love the Street Fighter comics, absolutely love the Street Fighter comics. I still have to catch up because I've not read, like I think your last like big like story was the crossover with Darkstalkers. I have not read that, but
okay, yeah, we did that. We've done another half dozen comics last year. We've got some stuff coming out later this year. We're not consistent doing it all the time. It's just sales are not there for it to be a monthly comic all the time. So we take a break and come back. It'll be a big deal again.
Maybe when Street Fighter 6 comes out, right?
Yeah, you got to assume that there'll be one for the next console generation.
Or if they do if they do a Marvel versus Capcom like 4 or 5, like it would be 5, right? Because an Infinite was 4.
I think they might call it 4 just to pretend that other one didn't happen. People didn't like that one.
Everybody was annoyed because of what the DLC, right? Is that like the problem with it was?
Well, there's a lot of things. People didn't like that there are no X-Men or Fantastic Four characters in it, mostly X-Men, because that was at the time when Marvel was not licensing those franchises because Fox had the movie rights.
Right.
So they're just, let's not promote these characters.
They were trying to literally kill the X-Men. They killed the Fantastic Four, and then they
they were trying to transfer. They realized they couldn't get away without X-Men, so they tried to transfer all of the X-Men concepts over to Inhumans in the comics, like make the Inhumans the people that could be anyone and everybody hates, but it just didn't take. People care about the characters.
Yeah, you can't just like replace Wolverine with I don't know, with Blue Bolt. It's just like, it's just not going to work. It's just, that doesn't work that way. Like if you like the character, you're going to read the book. If you don't like the character, you're not going to read the book. And if it's written poorly, you're going to stop reading. Marvel and DC need to understand that. Like, it's why the comic book industry, I think there's a lot of reasons why the comic book industry is having the issues that it's having, but it's the whole discussion we can have.
I mostly read 90s comics still. I got a stack of them right here. I got random X-Force issues. Let's see.
Nice.
Because the funny thing is, they're cheaper than buying new comics.
All right. So let's get this. So Matt came here on stream because he's going to, I guess the vote was for Galvatron.
Yeah. I put Rodimus Prime in there too. He came in second, so maybe I'll draw him next time.
I'll admit, I was actually going to switch my avatar and logos and stuff like that to your Rodimus Prime once it's all said and done. So,
well, he's a 86 guy, so I'll get to him really soon. I have here's my 86 chart that is just starting. 2 guys. So,
you got Rekar and Gnaw.
Yeah. So Rodimus is in here.
Very nice. I've been doing the coloring work there on Casey's artwork there just for fun, and it's been a lot of fun doing that. But I want to actually see how you work. In the meantime, I'll answer some questions, and if anybody has any questions to you, if you're able to work and
Yeah, no problem. Oh yeah, no worries.
So I'm gonna go circling back because some people are sitting there wondering, like, am I gonna read the comments? It's like I'm seeing the comments. I can't quite read it while we're having a conversation.
Okay. Well, if anyone wants to know, I'm not just making it up. So I grabbed a bunch of Galvatron reference, and I'm just gonna hold it over here on the side.
Okay.
And I also have a guy I drew recently, just because I'm drawing these for a series. I kind of want them all to be the same size, so I'm just gonna use him for like to do a little skeleton first.
Okay.
Yeah, Galvatron's weird guy. He's every appear even G1 Galvatron. Every person draws him differently. Every interpretation is different.
Definitely. The other thing is if everybody's watching, if you haven't already, smash that like button, and tell people to start coming in and start seeing Matt do some awesome artwork. So I'm going to start reading some of the comments. Do I like Ninja Turtles? Do you like Ninja Turtles? I love Ninja Turtles. I don't know about you.
Ninja Turtles was my thing. Like I had some Transformers when I was a kid, but I was like all in on Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, when Transformers was like phasing out from the cartoon, Ninja Turtles just took its place. So, like,
pretty much.
And at the same time, like, I moved into a bad neighborhood, and like, Ninja Turtles helped me get through that bad experience. So,
So what city is that in?
It's not actually a city because I moved. Well, it would be a town.
Oh, me too. I'm from a small town.
But like we moved from New York to Jersey, and then we moved like right when Ninja Turtles came. Like I would say, when Ninja Turtles came out. No, we were still living in the same house, and then when we moved it, like I was hardcore into Ninja Turtles when and the movie was coming out when we moved into that bad neighborhood. Now that I'm thinking about the years that it came out, because 1990 was when that feature length film came out, and it was a town called Lakewood, and people did not take to me because of my skin color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, tried making friends, had some friends, but people didn't like me because of my skin color. So.
No, I grew up in a town of 1,500 people.
That's a small town.
Oh yeah, I tell people that the nearest McDonald's was 3 hours away, 3-hour drive away.
Wow.
So, up in northern Ontario.
Renato Gomez wants to know, what are your thoughts on animated in Prime?
My thoughts? Well, yeah. I've watched only enough animated to draw some pieces for the Collectors Club magazine when it was coming out. I watched the first episode. Like, not for me. I find it really hard to watch because it's a really low. I don't know. There's like not enough frames or something. It's really.
Was it Prime or was it?
No, animated.
Animated.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you can see them kind of jump frame to frame, but I don't know. It wasn't for me. I haven't seen Prime though. I did draw a Transformers animated print that had every single character from the show in it, and as I was drawing it, they're airing the last 2 episodes, so I figured I was pretty safe, but they just kept sneaking guys into the background. Kept having to add them.
Animated did that. Animated kept adding more and more characters. Prime was good. It felt like, I don't know, like it was trying to take itself serious when it needed fun moments, and some of the jokes kind of came off a little like, the humor was all right.
I've had to draw a few Prime commissions, and they're kind of fun to draw.
Yeah, they're
Starscream.
Starscream's weird. Yeah, he's kind of got that weird like that antenna on top of his head, and
yeah,
the weird claws he has. It's almost like Scourge, but without the actual painted fingernails.
He just has a lot of personality just in the way he stands, even.
Yep. Stiletto wearing freak, I think is what I called him. Lone Dragon wants to know who's my favorite Ninja Turtle, or who's everyone's favorite Ninja Turtle. And he says his is Donatello.
Oh, you have, I don't know, every depends. Like my favorite version of Ninja Turtles is the comics, the Archie comics, and I liked Raphael in the Archie comics. He was like a little grumpy, but he wasn't like a super badass like in the old comics or in the movies. But he's just a little grumpy, and he had the awesome black costume.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. I was a big fan of Leonardo because I liked him being the leader. But when I was a kid, Michelangelo, because Michelangelo was like was everybody's like, favorite, I guess. Like he's kind of like the Wolverine of Ninja Turtles in a way.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I really became to appreciate like Leonardo, like him struggling being the field leader, and that I came to appreciate with Leonardo. I loved Raphael, of course, but I mean,
ever read the Archie comics?
I've not read the Archie comics. I only like skimmed through them. I remember like picking them up and seeing like the different different stories, but like not like hardcore read it.
They're a little silly like the show at first because they're based on the show, but they got serious and fun as they went on. Like the future turtles are super cool. Like they come back in time. Half of them get kidnapped. Like Mike and Leo get kidnapped, so Raph and Donatello come back in time and bring the younger turtles to the future to help them save future guys. And future Raph is totally badass. Like he carries all the weapons of all the guys who got captured. He's missing an eye, so he has an eye patch. He wears a baseball hat.
That kind of reminds me of like what they did with the 2012 and 2012 Turtles, where, well, first of all, they had Turtles Forever, right? And that's where the 2003 Turtles met the 80s cartoon Turtles, and then they go to Turtle Prime Universe, which is the 84 comics.
Turtles. Oh yeah, the black and white universe.
Yeah, and they're all like serious, like Shredder. It was like so awesome.
I know in those comics, I think they kill Shredder in the first issue.
They did. Like Shred, because they didn't know if the comic was going to continue or not, right? But so I'm seeing some of the comments here, like in Prime, Optimus took himself way too seriously, and says you loved Prime. It was definitely different, much more for adults in effect, no matter what they intended. Definitely, I would agree with that with Prime. Yeah, the 2012 Turtles is awesome. Definitely awesome. The 2012 Turtles kind of like is like a cross between it takes from the comics, like the old comics. It takes from every Turtle series before it, and I think it did a really good job of that.
That was cool. I remember the early episodes of it though felt really empty. Like it's just them. It's like the four turtles and whatever villain they're facing, and they're the only people that live in the city or something. They're just in this empty cardboard city. The very early episodes. But they got better as they went.
Yeah, the one I have not taken to after seeing maybe I think the first 3 or 4 episodes was Rise of the TMNT. I don't know. I didn't care for the animation style. Like it was
trying too hard to be different.
Mm-hmm. Very, very hard. It's and it's not an insult to you, but imagine if they tried doing a Lil Formers, but making that the main series, like making that like this is mainline Transformers. We're making toys of Lil Formers, not like as a spin-off series. Like another particular 80s franchise that got rebooted that
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I think you know who I'm talking about, but that's okay.
Like a Silverhawk Squawk? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, something like that. which will be remain nameless. So Changus Khan says that the newest TMNT show has some pretty cool. So Rise of the TMNT. So I'm guessing it gets better as it goes on. The Rise of TMNT. But I don't know. The first couple episodes kind of like a little off. But the 2012 series, man, that was just really cool. Like the way they handled everything was, it was like they were really trying to pay respects to like every series that came before it.
Yeah, animated Galvatron, his head's kind of more like they were referencing Megatron. Toy, not really, but
the cartoon, yeah,
cartoon,
definitely.
yeah, he's got a Megatron-y shape to his head.
It's basically like G1 Megatron with a 3 horns on his head. So Jace Doe wants to know, what's my favorite underrated animated series? Couple are Mighty Orbots and Vehicle Voltron, since the Lion Force is more popular. That's a good question. Favorite underrated cartoon, like one that like nobody really like took to, right? I mean, I can think of a few anime series, like Outlaw Star was like, I loved Outlaw Star.
That Skeleton Warriors didn't last long enough.
True.
That was fun.
Dino Riders.
Oh, Dino Riders is great.
I love Dino Riders. I love I had the T-Rex. It was huge.
I can't believe. Have you seen the new statue line? I don't know if they've announced more. Somebody got the rights to Dino Riders to do statues, and they announced it. And they announced it with a statue of one of the humans. Like, it's not the main thing people want to see in your announcements. They want to see the dinosaurs. But they're doing like statues of the humans, and then also statues of the dinosaurs with little humans on them, I guess, or little humanoids.
I don't know. Like, I'd rather just get like the full-on dinosaurs with like the armor, and like if you want the person like on it, like that's cool. But like,
yeah, they're kind of just an accessory.
Yeah, that T-Rex was like, it had wheels on the bottom of its feet in order for it to walk. I remember that, and I had the Ankylosaurus.
I didn't have very many. Me and my brother, we had Velociraptor, Pachycephalosaurus, which is the skull dome one, the head bumpy ones. I think we also had you call it Dimetrodon. Is that the one with the fin?
Yeah, Dimetrodon. I get that's that. Is that how you pronounce that name? Like,
I don't know.
Some of the weird dinosaur names I've always had a hard time with, like Dimetrodon. What's the one with the frills on in Jurassic Park? But that's not really what the dinosaur actually looked like. But or at least what the movie made.
I know what you mean. I don't remember his name.
You like spit like it's like a Diot, what if bliss or something weird. It like spit acid all over the dude.
Yeah.
And, like,
I like Archaeopteryx. That's the best animal name ever. It's kind of, I think it's more of a bird though.
That's one they always knew was a bird, but like it was everyone like assumed all dinosaurs didn't have feathers. I think now they're saying that even the T-Rex had feathers.
Yeah, I remember an exhibit at the Royal Ontario Museum here where they did dinosaurs with feathers. So it's like they did T-Rex, they did Velociraptors, or they did not whatever. There's like a Velociraptor's a lot smaller than what they showed in the movie, but there is a dinosaur that is that size. It's really similar. So whatever that one is, they did with feathers.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I'm more about like the G1 Dinobots being built on Earth instead of like existing when dinosaurs existed, because it just makes more sense. Like, because now that we're finding out more stuff about dinosaurs, the more I'd say that like the Dinobots themselves only make sense if they were built, when that's what we understood what dinosaurs look like.
Don Figueroa wanted to do a series where the Dinobots wake up in like the Beast Wars time, and they don't wake up. They like get their bodies and they kind of use them as vehicles. So like the Beast Wars guys piloting the Dinobots.
That would be kind of cool. I could imagine that like as a what if kind of story kind of thing, or
yeah. Well, it was back when Dreamwave was thinking of ideas for a Beast Wars series.
Oh, okay.
And Simon Furman ended up doing it, and eventually just reused that idea because it didn't get published. He just reused it at IDW. He just took out. It was going to be a longer series, so he just took out the parts with the show characters, and then just reused the rest of the plot at IDW. I don't know. These things are too small.
All right. So going back here, Kaleido Studios. Do you find Huffer or Pipes from Animated or Bluster and Trench are based on Mario and Luigi? Since they've been doing Mario and Luigi parody since then. Oh yeah, that's right. Huffer and Pipes, they made them like Mario. In the last, I think I remember that they looked like Mario and Luigi when they like actually like drew them.
Yeah, and if you recolor them, they really look like
it. It's true. It's kind of weird, but I can kind of see that. Specifically the actual animated, designs, because G1 they look different. What underused characters should be majorly used in the next Transformers, like what they did with Rack and Ruin in Cyberverse? That's a good question. That's right. I don't know if you've seen Cyberverse at all, but
not yet.
Yeah, they actually used what's it called? Rack and Ruin as a main character.
I don't even know who that is.
In the UK comics, he's got two. He's one of the wreckers. He's got two heads. And like he's one of Simon Furman's UK exclusive characters, and I think because Boulder Media is in UK, so that's the reason why like they wanted to like incorporate some of the UK exclusive characters into the cartoon.
I've got two pieces of toy reference here, and the sticker on his leg is upside down on one of them.
Oh,
like they're different, but I'm pretty sure the one on the left is right because it comes from the Transformers Generations art book.
Okay, yeah, that one's probably a little bit more correct.
At least it's how he would have looked in Japan.
Acid Storm, the Rainmaker, wants to know if you've ever drawn any obscure characters, which I guess you could say
everybody, all kinds of guys. So there's, well, not everybody ever, but there's this one guy, Transfan 2. He's like he's on a lot of forums and stuff, but he's for some reason has a whole bunch of really weird Transformers. So he came up to me one day. He's like, "Could you draw me like a G2 Menasor?" I think it was. I'm like, "Oh, I don't even know what that looks like." Yeah, no, there's only like 3 of them. I have one. Okay, like prototypes or something like that. He's always asking for like some weird random color thing, or even people make up their fan characters. Like a guy got me to do a Shattered Glass Scorponok, the last show.
All right, so it'd be Fortress Maximus colored. Scorponok, I think it was.
Scorponok colored like Fort Max.
Yeah. So they want to know, am I going to get Double Dealer and his companions? I definitely want to get the companions because the real Rumble is in that pack. But also, something else, I just happened to notice this. Have you seen the images of the new Double Dealer toy? Or
Nope.
He has a chest compartment like Soundwave.
Okay.
But he's full on, like, has his G1 like transformation. He's got the Autobot robot mode, the Decepticon Eagle, and the neutral vehicle, the rocket based vehicle mode.
Okay.
And he's The reason why they're doing the cassettes with him is because instead of doing the whole Power Master gimmick, they're using the cassette mini-cons as like they can connect inside of him.
Oh, okay.
And when I saw the robot mode, what it looks like for like the mold for it, it completely reminds me of Machine Wars Soundwave.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you remember Machine Wars, but
I was like just out of Transformers, and I got out of Transformers with like as a kid with I had a couple like Micromaster bases and things. So it was just after I was into Ninja Turtles by then.
Yeah, I was into Ninja Turtles, but I did collect a lot of G2 as well. And X-Men, I think, was like the big thing for me at that point. Like X-Men, Spider-Man, Ninja Turtles. Like I remember Power Rangers came out and we were all like, Power Rangers is the biggest ripoff ever because it's like it's a ripoff of Voltron, it's a ripoff of Transformers, it's a ripoff of this, right? And then we all then everybody like secretly watched it and they're like, did you know the Green Ranger did this? You know, it was like weird.
Yeah, I remember watching it. I was too old for toys, I think.
Okay.
Or I don't know, at least that, or maybe it's just that. When did that start? Like 91 or 92? North America.
Power Rangers, I think, was 92 or 93.
Yeah, so I would have been 12 or 13. So I was probably just at least where I was getting too old to get into a new toy line, I guess. Probably just finishing with toys.
Yeah, Power Rangers I didn't collect the toys for, but we did watch the show. Like my brother and sister got the toys. So
I definitely remember the show, so I'm sure I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
The best is I love the dramatic to be continued music where they just play the music really slow. They go da 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 da, like
yeah. Yeah, it was like a that was one of the great things about that era was like the music like still got you like so involved in the show. You know, and it's things that like I don't think a lot of the cartoons nowadays the music has that same grab that it had.
Yeah, you do. I don't know. Sometimes it's really short too, or like I love how they used to have these awesome alternate versions at the ends of the shows, like on GI Joe they have like the like jazzy version of the theme at the end. I don't know if you remember it, but it's just like it's like a bunch of I don't know, saxophones or trumpets or something. I don't know what it is. It's just this chill version of the GI Joe theme, or the even on Transformers, just playing the music without any lyrics. It's just like comforting.
Okay. It wouldn't be like that.
It's just something. They're just really like finger snapping, toe tapping. It's like, oh, this is the GI Joe one. Okay, this guy's sketched out. I'll just start inking him. So I'll turn this guy's opacity down.
All right, I'm going to start answering some of these questions here. Let's see. Cartoons don't have opening themes anymore. That is true. That is very, very true. They just like skip right to like the opening. Sometimes they forget the theme song. And it's like the theme song is the hook. That's what like you, especially like you think about this, the jingle for Transformers, like you're like, Autobots wage their battle to destroy. Like you'll always remember that, or go Power Rangers since we're on Power Rangers, or Splinter taught them to be ninja teens.
Yeah, they would
all
give
that
you
stuff.
all the information you need to know. Jump
Yep.
into it.
So like when the episode starts, like if they're in the middle of an adventure, it didn't matter if they were in the middle of an adventure because you already knew who the characters are, like because you saw the theme song. So like G.I. Joe against Cobra and Destro fighting to save the day, like that's all that it needed, to do. And it was like so It's so sorely missed. It's definitely sorely missed. Emerald Flash wants to know if you have a YouTube channel or social media. Will you make a Beast Wars lineup or G2 as you continue with these lineups? You have a Twitter. You have Twitter.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. You can find links to everything at go to lilformers.com, LIL Formers, or mattmoylan.com. Same goes to the same place. And I've got an Instagram that I haven't been running too long, but I post art on there. I have Twitter. I have a DeviantArt. I don't have a YouTube channel yet, but I'm planning to get one going. I want to do like a art book focused YouTube channel because that's what I work on mostly in publishing. Geeky art books, video game art books, anime art books.
Yeah, I'm just putting it, and of course at Lil Formers on Twitter. You don't have like a Facebook page, do you?
No, I just have like a personal Facebook, so I don't really use it for that.
Yeah, I had tried to keep it separate, but what I've started to notice is that because of the way that Facebook works, like you know, people are starting to like see my like regular profile. I'm trying to keep that separate, you know, business and family. So
yeah.
Let's see. The Viper is coming. 575. Yeah. I love that episode. It's one of my favorite episodes of G.I. Joe. Any chance get a point blank War for Cybertron? Oh, okay. So you're asking for that. I'd like them to do the rest of the Target Masters in the War for Cybertron. I think they've only done Crosshairs so far. I don't know if you're still collecting toys or not, but
I collect them for something I like. Like recent toys, I got all relatively recent. I got all the parts of Volcanicus, and I got the third-party add-ons for him to make him awesome. Yeah, I haven't bought anything since. What's the whole name of the whole trilogy now?
yeah, the War for Cybertron trilogy now it's called. Yeah,
I haven't gotten anything from it.
Wow. The new Optimus looks amazing. I will say that.
I go check him out every year, San Diego, whatever's coming out. But, it's weird. Some of them are weirdly inconsistent. Like most of them are full of greeblies, right? Like all kinds of details and stuff on them. But then you get a guy like Sideswipe who's like all smooth. Like it's stand out a little weird.
It is kind of weird. The one thing like the Siege toys are most of them are Cybertron modes.
Right.
So, but now Earthrise is the second part of the trilogy, and it's actually, they're actually doing like Earth modes like for Grapple and Hoist, and it's like full blown G1. Like if you didn't collect any of the classics when they came out, like now we're finally getting like better versions of classics. So
speaking of Cybertron mode, let me ask you about this because this is how I always thought about these characters. But so guys like Ultra Magnus and Hot Rod and Cup, they're all like Cybertronian cars, right?
Well, Ultra Magnus eventually took had an Earth mode, so but the rest of them,
or like so like an RC and Springer and like, but I always thought of them like, well, it's the future. I thought they were just future Earth cars.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But sometimes I think that they've like said like, oh no, they're actually like not like they're Cybertronian cars.
Especially since they're all in Earth.
Right, and that's the thing is like they're all on Earth. They're at Autobot City, so why wouldn't they take an Earth mode? And it's just the future versions of the vehicles, which would make sense that, okay, if the real 2005, why don't we take some cars from 2005 and actually apply that to, and I think that's what they kind of started to do with classics and stuff, but in Generations, but it never really took full.
That Dreamwave, when they're going to bring in, you remember the War Within?
Mm-hmm.
So in the second or third volume, whichever one, they brought in Ultra Magnus. I think Simon had written in the script to give him a Cybertronian mode, like everybody else. And the editor had said, no, he's already got a Cybertronian mode. Just draw regular Ultra Magnus. So I don't know.
Huh. Well, I think if I remember correctly, in the Dreamwave comics, they actually said that Shockwave made, like, not in the War Within, but in but when they came to Earth, like, Shockwave told them to take Earth modes. Like, he like made everyone take an Earth mode. And if I think I remember that correctly, and then in the, because I'm just sort of remembering from when I read the Dreamwave comics.
It's been a while. I just remember there was some kind of moment like that. Like,
oh, okay.
it's I give Ultra Magnus at Earth mode, and ancient Cybertronian mode, and they're like, no, he should just look like that. He always does.
Okay, so Matt wants to know why Skids was mostly omitted from the G1 cartoon. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. His toy was not sold, but very well, or
yeah, I don't know. My first, no, I guess it was my second Transformers comic. It was the one where Skids gets like destroyed or knocked off. He gets knocked off of the hill and super damaged.
Okay, and then he ends up with the girl who, like, washes him because he's like, I've never had a car like you, and it was like,
I didn't read that until this year. I found that comic, the second part of the story, at like a Goodwill.
Oh wow. Yeah, and it was when you read that, you're like, you can tell that the artist really wanted to draw humans, like, especially girls.
Oh, they're sick of drawing robots. Yeah.
yeah, because, like, the fact that they had a girl washing a car,
I just remember that. I guess because I never got the second part of it. I just remember that story seeming really dark. Like, Skids is all damaged, and like, oh my god, so they killed a hero. I think there were like broken music notes coming out of him.
Well, like it's even worse for poor Sunstreaker and, like, the rest of the 84 cast, because, like, after the when the new Autobots for 85 came online, the rest of them were all, like, washed to the side. Like, they were like, oh, they're all in repair bay. Oh, okay. Like, they just, like, got, like, swept under the rug. Hayes wants to know if the pufferfish. I've seen a pufferfish eating carrot video. I have no idea what that is. Jack Hart the third wants to know. I missed when characters had background themes. Then, yeah, definitely. Like, certain characters had a specific theme. Like, when they came on screen, like they would show up and they would come in with a theme, and you knew that was that character. Like, it's even like Mega Man, like with the with Proto Man's whistle,
right?
That's Proto Man coming up.
A random thing, Crash Man from Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guy with the drill hands.
You can beat him with 2 hits on normal with the air shooter, and I think 3 hits on.
I don't know that, and I'm editing the encyclopedia right now. So. but in Canada, we had a TV show called Video and Arcade Top 10. It was like a video game news, and I think they kind of had a little contest, play people against each other on a certain game. But their theme music for the show was Crash Man's theme music from Mega Man 2.
Oh, wow. That's like Captain and the Game Master, where they would try to incorporate, like, everything from the games, but made it super cartoony and kiddie.
Well, this was also in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
It was like, 5 or 6 years after this game even came out.
Trying to keep up with the chat, but it was starting to move. Who is your favorite Decepticon? And he said Emerald Flash wants to know who's their favorite Decepticon. His is Starscream.
My favorite Decepticon is Shockwave.
I would say my favorite is Galvatron.
Cool.
Yeah. Go figure.
Shockwave was the first toy I had, as a Decepticon toy I had. So I always think of that. I guess I started getting toys just in. I only got a couple year 1 guys. I had a Sunstreaker and a Trailbreaker. I think that's all I had from the first year.
Yeah, I had Bumblebee, I had Cliff Jumper, I had Jetfire, and missing an arm. Eventually, he was missing an arm. Grimlock, I remember my Grimlock. He was Godzilla. if you know what that means, like with Mechagodzilla.
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever seen Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla?
I haven't, but I know who Mechagodzilla is.
Okay. In the first Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla movie, Godzilla turns Mechagodzilla's head completely around and then rips his head off. And that's how he beats Mechagodzilla. In the second movie, Godzilla, like Terror of Mechagodzilla, Godzilla actually rips Mechagodzilla's head off, and there's a head underneath.
Okay, like he's like a lizard head, like
a robot head. There was a robot head underneath because because Mechagodzilla is just a robot Godzilla.
Yeah.
So, and he was built by space aliens. So, yeah, the Godzilla movies kind of get crazy towards as they go on, but it was like one of the coolest things. And if you play with the original Grimlock toy, like that's how you transform him. You take his head off. Well, someone broke the hinge on my original Grimlock, and so he like only one like you know how like the on the actual toys how like the connector itself is like two pieces or whatever,
sure,
that, like connect to the hinge. One of the hinge pieces was broken off, so I could remove the head completely and pretend that because that's it was broken on me, and then I can pretend that Grimlock is Mechagodzilla when facing off against my. That's what I did when I was a kid. So, because we never had a Mechagodzilla toy, so how else would you play with Mechagodzilla if you didn't have it? And by having the G1 Grimlock toy, you can match things up.
Only Dinobot I had was Slag. I don't remember if it was the Canadian version, but it must have been.
He had the red head, instead of the black head, which is funny because you went for the G1. I saw your 85 Dinobots. You went for the US head.
Oh, I got a Canadian one.
There we go. That's the real Slag right there.
Yeah, now that I'm into these years, there's not a lot of repaints anymore. You'd think they would have kept doing that. Like
different like versions and stuff like that and different continents and stuff.
Transformers is the property where nobody cares if you do a redeco. Anything else, like, oh, you're lazy, you're just doing a recolor Snake Eyes. That's so lazy.
Well, I mean, come on. You got like the first lineup of toys, the same toy 3 times, just 3 different characters.
Yeah.
Starscream, and then Skyward, then a Prowl and Blue Streak, and just going by year 1, like 84. Matt, have you ever gotten the rights to do a comic book based on older anime mecha like Gigantor or Mazinger Z? A Shogun Warriors comic would be neat.
Shogun Warriors would be impossible. That's a whole bunch of different properties, right?
Yeah.
It'd be so hard to get everybody to agree to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what we've done. We've done. Let me just think. That's something coming up that's I can't say yet, but we've done other giant robots, but not old school ones. Like we've done Evangelion art books. On my shelf. And remember, yeah, I don't think we've done anything with old school robots, but it would be cool. This might be a small audience though. I hope somebody, now that they're translating the Transformers manga, well, at least one of them, maybe they'll go and also get the rights to that Transformers versus Zynga.
I actually got that right here from Viz. Viz actually sent me a copy to do a review.
Oh, cool.
And then I reviewed it, and then obviously it came out, but it's actually really cool. This is actually volume 1, and I don't know if you can see like on the.
Yeah, cool. I've got the Japanese one on the shelf somewhere. I've got an English one, volume 1 in the mail.
Okay, yeah, it's really cool. Like in the back, like it has like a lot of the some of the art that they had. It's like just so worth it.
Yeah, Naoto Tsushima. Great. That's who it is, right? On this one? Or is this a different one? There's a few Transformers mangas.
Art by Ban Magami.
Oh,
It
okay.
says. I don't know if it's like specific, but like some of the artwork is phenomenal. Just wanted to see one in particular. Like this here is Galvatron being rebuilt from Megatron.
Cool. This is the one that has a story that has a little boy in the Optimus hat, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was like really, really cool. Chantel says home show. She found that at the manga is actually on sale at Barnes and Noble, or you can actually like order it like on Amazon, like I did. Actually, well, that's if they're shipping it. I don't know if they're shipping stuff right now because apparently they're cutting back on shipping stuff.
Oh, really? I know they. I mean, we got told by this by our distributor, but it's public info. I looked it up, and Amazon has stopped purchasing things for, like, they've stopped purchasing anything that's not an essential, like medical stuff or antibacterial wipes or whatever. Anything that's not an essential type thing right now, they've stopped. They've put all orders on hold. So I mean, they have the stuff they have, but they're not like restocking books or ordering new books or anything like that right now.
Yeah. So whatever they have in stock, they're still shipping.
Yeah.
So they like my wife had to get diapers and wipes and stuff, and they were like scrambling trying to get it. And so we got like a huge order of like, because we were trying to order like different companies to make sure we had like wipes and diapers and stuff. It was like we ended up getting like more boxes than we needed. Well, I don't need this many, but then again, you never know.
Yeah. You know, I mean, luckily I work at home anyway. My wife can work at home, so she's doing okay. Our daughter's having fun not going to
school. my kids are too young for actual school, but my daughter is getting into like preschool books. So like my wife is teaching her, and with the curriculum, we're actually thinking about homeschooling. Just because she's too smart, I think, in a ways for a lot of it, and she doesn't like take to, you know, I don't know, she's really good with teachers and stuff like that. But I would say like a lot of the curriculum that's in schools nowadays, it's like I'd rather homeschool my kids.
Right. Yeah, I say even at our school, there's some silly stuff sometimes.
Like they're not teaching math anymore. Someone says bring back Circuit Breaker. Speaking of which, have you done a Circuit Breaker little former? I'm trying to remember. I think you had her in one of your comics.
I did I don't even remember what the joke was, but I did some joke about non-toy characters. So it was a Circuit Breaker, and at the time, the Fallen, and somebody else. There's 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who the other one was.
Alpha Trion, maybe?
Maybe.
I'm trying to remember, too, because I remember reading your comics, and I was like, I'm trying to... What? Who?
Oh, I can just look it up in my other... Performers, Fallen. It was G-Axis.
G2. G-Axis. I think that was the joke, right? That was the joke?
Yep. I love G2 Sideswipe. Lobo Sideswipe.
With the spiky wheels on his shoulders. The toy didn't do that, though. It was just the G1 toy.
That was just a black toy.
It was a reverse colored Sideswipe. See, Daimo C was saying, Matt, the only way I could see a Shogun comic made is either do Go Nagai, Mecha, Great Mazinger, Great Gator Dragon, Grandizer, or one of the only Toei, Mecha, Guy King, Danguard, Combatra, or Voltes the V.
Well, now there's Super Shogun Transformers, Shogun Star Wars.
Yeah, they keep on mixing different. They keep on mixing different like universes. Like what's that Neza in China?
I don't know that one.
They're actually doing Transformers Neza. It's like based in the Cyberverse like universe, I think. And they go to China and like apparently like the deity Neza becomes a Transformer. So they're doing like Master Force with him.
Okay.
Weird, really weird. But it's only in China. Like it's an only like Japanese. I mean, not Japanese. A Chinese exclusive Transformers cartoon.
Huh.
Done in the same animation and everything from like Cyberverse.
Pat Lee working on it. He's over there.
I've heard a lot of people say not too many nice things about him.
Well, I mean, he gave me a job.
Are you still friends with him or not really?
I haven't talked to him for 15 years.
Oh wow.
So I did work for him again. So after Dreamwave, Pat had another company called Dream Engine, and I was pretty young then. I'm like, okay, these guys screwed up, but they must have learned their lesson, and now they're going to do a really good company and not make any mistakes. But nope, that's not how. So I quit after a year.
He built like a $20,000 like office, right? That was like what caused Dreamwave to go under.
It was one of the problems. So the original Dreamwave office space was a couple $1,000s a month. I think it was like $2,000, $2,500 a month, and they needed an office about twice the size. But they decided, let's get a $20,000 a month office. We're making bank on these Transformers comics. So they had a custom designed office in a like top of the was it? I think you call it AAA real estate, something like that.
Oh wow!
It was in like an Allstate insurance building. Like, no, you just needed rent out the office next door and knock down a wall. They just need a little more space. Yeah, they went all out. So that was a problem. They also kind of figured, well, this Transformers comic sells this many. If we did 3 Transformers comics, it'll sell 3 times as much, right? And all the other comics will also be successful. So, but no, they weren't.
I wonder if like the passion for it died after the second series, like, but because like when the ongoing started, I was all in at that point, but the only thing I wasn't in for was the Armada stuff. Like I didn't really care for the Armada comics.
That was kind of awkward at first, but Simon kind of made it into something interesting.
Yeah, when they started doing the Galvatron crossing over from another.
Yeah, the ties between Armada and Energon were a lot stronger in the comics. In the show, they're just trying to. I don't know. They're trying to. I don't even know in Japan. Was it part of the same series in Japan?
No,
I think they tried to link them with a lot of dialogue and stuff in the show, but in the comics they had a really clear transition of what happened to characters.
No, the Armada comics and the cartoon were separate. Yeah, they were completely separate universes. In fact, it was like I think that was one of the reasons why people probably didn't take to the Armada comic book, is because people really took to the Armada cartoon, like kids took to the Armada cartoon.
Right.
Adults,
well, I know I'm pretty sure they didn't give Dreamwave much guidance for the comic. They're just, here's some basic write-ups about the show, and here are the toys. Come up with something.
Yeah. So they went all Marvel with them, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But the anime like took it in a whole different dimension. But it was basically Pokemon for Transformers. Like, gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
With the mini-cons. a friend of mine, Duke To Go, says only letter he ever wrote to any comic book got published in a Dreamwave book.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I probably put it there because I was, taking the fan mail and making the fan letter pages and whatever.
Thank you very much, Melvor, for the super sticker. Melvor is have you ever watched the Game Chasers?
Sounds really familiar.
They do they go to like flea markets and stuff like that, and they get like they find like deals on video games.
Okay.
And they did that for a while. So like they would like collect like old NES games and Genesis games and stuff like that. And they also did Toy Chasers. And Melvor actually edits a lot of the videos and stuff. So he's a good dude.
What else can we put on this guy? Oh yeah, I was gonna do. He's red.
I'm gonna say, don't forget the like that cannon like thing. Like
oh yeah, draw his gun. I forgot.
Mm-hmm. People are saying stop with Circuit. Oh, Circuit Breaker was great. I love Circuit Breaker in the comic books. Like I think that she was such a unique and unique character that I thought it was a cool concept. Like it's one of the things from the Marvel comics that I actually really dig. Granted, I'm more of a cartoon guy. Chantel Home wants to know who's the hardest character for you to draw. She's currently working on a sketch of Optimus on Photoshop, and he's hard. Currently, in doodling Alita. What helped you? So I guess drawing tips.
Optimus, I draw from memory now. Done so many. He's really hard to draw. I know there's a few that are just like sigh. Someone asked for them. I mean, Devastator is a pain. Just because even if you're drawing him simple like this, you got to draw a lot of details on him to make him look like him.
Yeah.
Can't just be a green guy with boxy arms.
Very true. Optimus is kind of easy to draw if you really think about it, because he's like very boxy and he's just got like but Devastator, you got to draw 6 separate vehicles in a specific position. I would say maybe the Bayverse characters, if you had to draw them on.
Well, I thought at first that they were going to be hard to draw, but actually, since they're not very well defined, you can kind of just draw whatever junk if you draw it in the right shape.
Yeah. Galvatron needs his sparks of insanity from Webworld. That's what Lone Dragon says. If you remember the episode Webworld when he's like the sparks sticking out of his like they were like flying out of his the sides of his head.
I'm gonna do a rewatch of some old. It's been a while.
I have it all on DVD, but like it's apparently free on Tubi.
I got the Japanese series that come right after like Master Force and Victory and so the third one.
It was Headmasters.
Yeah, there's Headmasters. I got those on DVD when they were only available in the UK. These UK region versions of them. It might have been Shout Factory. So you got to back then you had to play them in a non-region DVD player. But I just loved, especially Headmasters, because it's like G1 is just a little bit better. Just like animated, just a little bit better. Because it's just one more year.
Yeah, I mean, Headmasters was good as far as animation was concerned, but the stories were, like.
It's been a while. I don't super remember.
Like as Headmasters went on, it went into like, this is boring. Why am I watching this? This is like the most boring Transformers cartoon I've ever watched. It's like, that's how I felt about Headmasters until the end. Then they got epic. Master Force was like, if you look at it as not Transformers, it's amazing. It's kind of hard to watch as Transformers. And then Victory was just, I love Victory. victory is insane and it's awesome.
I think I mentioned when I was in your chat last time that me and my buddy Matt Hansen, we both worked at Dreamwave, and we had a pitch for a Headmasters comic series, but it was just as Dreamwave was ending, so
it got
never
squashed
happened,
at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought we had a good idea. It was going to be like just kind of like the cartoon at first, that they end up on this planet and meet the Nebulans and stuff. But it turns out that I don't remember if we thought this up or it was part of the cartoon now. But the Nebulans can like control. They control machinery, right?
Well,
the
the Nebulans binary bonded to the robots themselves. Like, so, like, you know, Chrome Dome took his head off, and you know, Styler, you know, I think it's Styler, is you know, was inside of like a bodysuit that transforms into the head of Chrome Dome, and they basically are linked mentally. So,
our idea was that that they just naturally had the power to control technology, and like the Nebulans, you know, helped out the Autobots around this planet, and the bad ones just basically took over the Decepticons, and they started their own, you know, they had a mini war going on was it Nebulos, and you know, they, after their initial conflict, they, you know, contact Cybertron for help with the situation, and they're just like, nope, we're quarantining you on this planet. These Nebulans are too dangerous. You take care of this by yourself. Not helping you, kind of a thing.
So, in other words, the reason why the Headmasters are where they are is because they can't leave the planet.
Yeah.
Okay. That would have made sense why they weren't involved in too many of the mythos, like in, I guess, in the Dreamwave comics. But then again, there was that one flashback in War Within where like Hot Rod is as a target master and Fortress Maximus is like standing above him. I remember that in the War Within. I think it was the first War Within that they did that.
Could have been, just didn't think about it.
Do I ever think that they'll release the 2 Japanese Beast Wars series like they did in Japan as a continuation of a G1? Well, the Beast Wars series are like in the far future, like the Beast Wars 2nd and Neo, I think are in the far future of Beast Machines, apparently, in Japan. Like that's where they fit continuity-wise. But I've only seen episodes of them. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Beast Wars Neo.
No, just, you know, clips online.
Yeah. Like I've seen episodes, but like everything was poorly subtitled.
Do you remember hearing how us here in Canada got like Gene early, like a year early or something crazy, like one of the seasons?
For which show?
Beast Machines. They
No,
played it
I didn't know that you got
much
it
earlier. Like they played season, like I think we got season, I believe it was season 1. We both got at the same time, and then they just instantly continued into season 2 in Canada.
Oh wow! So they just basically played all 26 episodes in one shot, but they split it into 2 seasons in America.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be 2 seasons. It was basically 1 season.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of it was made in Canada. I don't know.
That's probably what it is. In Canada, like they just already had the episodes ready to go, but America, they wanted to extend the toy line since the show was ending. It was only 26 episodes.
Right. Like there are rules. I think almost every channel in Canada, there are rules about minimum amount of Canadian content that you have to show.
That could be it too, because like that was like the whole thing with why there are 49 episodes in season 2 of Transformer of G1, because they needed to get you know, they needed to get to that magic number of 65 for syndication.
Right.
You know, because in the 80s, you couldn't have a show like that didn't have 65 episodes.
There's a bunch of weird goings on with Canadian versions of things. Like I didn't know until, you know, the 80s Astro Boy. I bought the DVD set of that a few years back and watch it. I'm like, this isn't the same voices that I knew when I was a kid. And it turns out there's a Canada only English dub of Astro Boy. is weird. You know, like we're only a tenth the size of the States. Why is there a dub just for us? And it even had an extra thing at the end where at the end of every episode, Astro Boy, because I think it's because they're not allowed to show as many commercials in Canada, at least at that time. So at the end of every episode, they added an extra part where Astro Boy summarizes the episode, like as a journal entry, and he makes a mistake on purpose. And you have to try to figure out what the mistake was.
Huh.
Yeah. Lots of weird stuff we get in Canada.
I'm just, as you're talking, I'm watching you draw, and I'm like, that is some really good coloring, like tip right there. You know, like the way that you're like drawing the outline to fulfill.
Oh yeah, that's how I do it. I used to do it with the mouse, or with a tool like, where is it even? Lasso it like this, but that takes too long. So just paint it out.
That's probably what took me so long when I was doing Optimus and Megatron, was just like,
or you figure out all the parts that'll take easier for, like, just draw the top part and then that's done. And
that is a good tip. If I do, when I do more artwork, because I actually am been trying to work on my own artwork and stuff like that for because I wanted to try and develop a video game as like an action platformer kind of thing, and working on the concept art for it. So a friend of mine and I were trying to like make the story and figure out where everything goes, and that's going to take time, but it's going to be set in like the Meiji period of Japan, and it's be like a Ninja Gaiden kind of game. Really cool stuff.
yeah, I don't know. Just remember to anti-alias your brush. You're filling in your colors so you can change them later.
Very, very good tips. I'm gonna start answering some questions now. I just happen to be like the chat's been going and going and going, and we've trying to answer a lot of the people's questions.
Okay. I should have said remember to don't anti-alias your brush. That's what I should have said.
We almost have all the Japanese exclusive box. We have no Star Saber and no repaint for Death Saurus. Death Saurus needs to be a proper Death Saurus, not a Skylinks repaint. Beast Wars Neo looks even more like Pokemon than Armada, in my opinion. Yeah, everyone, don't forget to click that like button if you haven't already. If you're just like tuning in and seeing Matt do some Little Formers Galvatron.
In Beast Wars Neo, last TFCon, I had to do 2 Lio convoys. People.
Was one for Lio Convoy? No.
Wait, I don't think so. No, he asked me to do a Lionel.
Yeah, I would figure he would want Lionel. That would make a lot of sense. Because he's like right now he's on a ready to rip people apart for Thundercats right now. And I don't blame him, because man,
that's his thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, me, like most people, it's weird. Everybody knows me for drawing Transformers, but I have way, way, way more Masters of the Universe twice.
Yeah, I was a big He-Man guy too. In fact, I living where I live, I saw the Masters of the Universe, Power Tour at Radio City Music Hall, as well as the Coming Out of Their Shells tour at Radio City Music Hall.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
Like even right now, I have 4. I only have 4 display cases, and they're 100% of like glass display cases, and they're 100% full of He-Mans.
Wow.
We got other random stuff on other shelves, but yeah, I went all in about every modern He-Man from their classics line.
Yeah, we're still live. We're still live. If if someone's asking if we're still live, yeah, we're just we're chatting while we're trying to answer the questions and trying to I'm seeing the comments as they pass, but I can't answer them all while we're combo. It happens, but don't forget to smash that like button. I'm sure people are watching other stuff too, because like normally, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like at one point, I did a live stream. I had like 300 people at one point. It was like I can't keep up with it all.
Start doing super chats.
Super chats would make it easier for me to see everybody, and I would definitely be able to see people's comments. Yes, we notice you. So if I put you on screen, they know that I'm acknowledging you. Grantimus Prime wants to know what art software you're using. Of course, you're using Photoshop, for editing here. I can see.
Yeah, that's all I really use.
Same here. I'm a Photoshop guy, but what type of I guess that's like an artist like pad that you have there.
Oh yeah, this is so it's Wacom brand. It's their Cintiq line.
Okay. I saw them at New York Comic Con, and I figured they were really expensive because the Wacom pad I have in front of me is like one of the small ones, and then I just got one of the mobile ones that you plug it in, and it's got a cord, but you can draw from a distance, like if you're like having it like sit on your lap. But I'm like, I don't know, like I think it's a wireless one. Yeah,
like
I think
yours
it's a wireless.
is you just draw. It's not a screen, right?
No,
Bamboo or something, or Intuos, or
I have a bamboo. The bamboo I
okay.
have is what I have plugged in right now, and I rarely use it. Like the bamboo, I rarely use because I don't know. I find it easier to like use my mouse instead of the bamboo. But I guess if I was doing it directly on screen, I would probably be drawing really good. But
Weird, because I went from what the precursor to bamboo was called Graphire. So I used to use that, and then when I went to move to a Cintiq, you have to actually get used to your hand being in the way again, which is weird to think, but when you're used to doing it one way, it's just the way it is. But
yeah, but if you're
can,
still drawing with pen and paper, it's probably easy, like to get used to it.
you can get these bigger Cintiqs. I think this is 21 inches. I think they're a couple grand, but there's actually a smaller level of Cintiq, like a 15-inch one that I think they're like 1,200, something like that.
Oh wow, that's expensive.
Yeah, well, if you plan to use it a lot, I might use it for other stuff too. I might use it for art cleanups on comic books or all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's definitely a good artist tool, but you have to be able to afford the investment.
A lot of people, if you have a modern iPad, especially if you have a bigger one, you can get the Apple Pen, which is only like $100, and they're pretty good. Like some of our artists, sometimes they'll do a whole illustration, like a cover illustration on the iPad.
Yeah, a lot of people. I don't have an iPad. I have a Samsung tablet. Maybe I can get like an app for that like
there might be an equivalent. It depends. It has to be like you could always get some kind of pen, but if you want a pressure sensitive pen, like this is pressure sensitive, right? So like all Wacom stuff is pressure sensitive.
Okay.
But to get pressure sensitivity on an iPad, it has to be a newer one. And I don't know about other brands of tablets, but so like you see, I know people don't understand that. The harder I push, the thicker this draws.
Yeah, I could see.
So
that's neat. Real neat. Does it have a right click for doing other stuff like?
Yeah, I've got. Let's see if I can show. There's 2 buttons on the pen here.
I'll put you on that. Oh, where are we?
I don't know if you can show it. I don't know. People can look at the little. There you go.
Okay.
So there's 2 buttons on the pen. If you flip it around, it switches to the eraser tool automatically, which is neat. Otherwise, different levels of tablets also have buttons on the tablets. So I don't think yours, which would be the Bamboo, I don't think it has any buttons. But the Intuos, which is one up, it's just one up from yours.
This
it
is
has some buttons.
I'll show the pen that I have on my Bamboo for a second, real quick here. Going by solo layout, I don't know if you can see it here. It does have 2 buttons. So
I mean on the tablet itself. So the actual tablets will have buttons too. It's like mine has 16 buttons on the sides here that I can set as stuff. So I can just make this like a Control Z or whatever, you know.
Yeah, having the shortcuts are like so much, make things so much easier. Like if you know the L button, and if you know the Control Z, which Control Z is like the artist tool. Control Z is like life.
Decide exactly what I'm gonna make all these final colors. I guess I'll
check
the change them after.
1 point idea myself. They can reach up to $3,000 or more. It's definitely an investment. Do you draw alt modes?
Not very often. Sometimes though. Seekers are fun to draw, little cute jets.
The Merge says, as much as he loves Rodimus, his favorite comic by you is the one where you call Roddy not Optimus.
Oh yeah, it's like I think I put there's an alt mode in that one. I think I drew like an alt mode hardhead in that for some reason. I don't know. But it's a couple Transformers walking away from him like, good job, not Optimus. Stop calling me that. What did you say, not Optimus?
Yeah, that was. I knew you were like. It was basically like everyone was ragging on him, and you know that's literally how I feel being a Rodimus fan. So, is that like that whole, you know? Oh,
that's the main reason people don't like him. You're not Optimus.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Since conventions have been postponed, will you be offering up your artwork on your website for purchase? I think you can order prints from you, right?
I'm not. Well, I sell on my website. You can go and find links to buy T-shirts and stickers. I haven't gotten around to actually selling prints through the website. I'd figure that out because I like to make my prints myself. So I'd have to figure out how to mail them and stuff. But I'm open to it if you want to ask, and doing personal commissions, whatever. When I do sketches on paper, I do Copic marker sketches.
Okay. Let's see. I see your comment. Can I make a video about Hot Rod from the Movieverse and every show he's been in? So what they want me to do is they want me to go back and readjust my Rodimus Prime retrospective, I guess. A lot of people have been asking me to do Galvatron. I've been hesitant to do Galvatron, and the reason why is because he's such a big character to do, and like he's in every Transformers series, and it takes forever to go through it all. So like if I do a retrospective, it's going to take a long time. If I just like, I'm wondering like, should I try to like just make a video about like a smaller topic, or should I make my big retrospectives like bigger? You know, like that's a good question I should do on my own videos.
As soon as they figured out they can just color Megatron purple, let's put him in everything.
Well, speaking of which, they should do that for Siege Prime and just paint him purple. You know, then you'd have Galvatron, like every other Galvatron. So you're going with the G1 toy there with the silver on the top there, because his neck.
Yeah,
his neck is supposed to be that chrome.
I'm trying. I looked at. Well, I was looking at Don. I don't know who colored this, but Don's Mortal Meets the Eye. This is how he did it. I don't know if I like that. I think I might do. Let me try it like you just said, like the cartoon.
Like it's just his neck is supposed to be like the silver around the neck.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
And it's supposed to be like that, GalaxyCon. Everything got canceled right now. We're all stuck
Okay, I think he's pretty colored. Okay, now shade him. I just do. This is the lazy way to do it. You can do it a little better and pick custom shade colors, but I just do multiply layer, and that's pretty easy. And just fill stuff in with gray.
There you go. Are you going to do 2 separate versions of Galvatron? Or 3? There's 3 different color schemes for
I think
Galvatron.
after this, I'm going to decide. I don't know what color scheme I'm going to give him for my actual print when I put all the guys together.
You're not going to go for the cartoon on the main one?
I don't know. I haven't decided. I don't think a lot of people like the toy colors. So I might just leave them mostly like this. But I'll try it out. It's really easy to change after.
The Duke to Go wants to know if you think that Hot Rod was responsible for Optimus's death.
No.
Good answer.
Paying more attention.
Good answer.
You never been on a battlefield and someone says your name before? Optimus, that's me. Isn't that what happened? He just turned around.
He's like, no, you don't, Megatron, and he jumps in, trying to stop him from shooting Megatron because he saw the gun before.
I have a fan. Maybe they've done this theory already. But I had a fan theory of primes as well. This is a 20-year-old fan theory, so maybe they've done this or done something different. But why Ultra Magnus couldn't open the Matrix? It's not necessarily because he wasn't worthy, but so my thought was that I had this story idea where it's actually mostly about Starscream. Why Megatron doesn't kill Starscream? Why does he keep him around? And it actually has to do with the Matrix and stuff. So my idea was that there's a story where there's a big battle and Starscream betrayed Megatron or did something stupid during the fight, and Megatron got super injured, and they're back at the Decepticon base, and Soundwave's just like, you want me to just kill Starscream, or in his way, but basically that attitude, like, why don't we just kill this guy? Why do we keep him around? And Megatron's like, no, you can't kill him. I need him. And he goes into the story of how he at some point discovered a Decepticon matrix and realized that you can't open it unless it gets the blessing of some supreme being, which would be Unicron. But he figured out that the Autobot matrix only opens, they'll only choose like a new prime when you're on Cybertron or near Cybertron. So he decided to build this creation of Starscream around the Decepticon matrix to just like protect it, so it wasn't all around all the time. And that's the reason why Starscream thinks he should be leader all the time. He kind of is. He's got this thing in his chest that he doesn't know about.
So that's the reason why he ends up coming back as a ghost.
Yeah. That's also why he's so powerful. He can't be killed as well. So if you follow that, you think about Optimus when he was Orion Pax or whatever you want, or Optronics, as Cyberfirm's name you want to give him. But
that was I did not like that name. I'm sorry. I did not like that name. I'm one of the few people who remember it too, because when I was at New York Comic Con, Jim Sorensen was promoting his Transformers: A Visual History, and he's like, here's a trivia for you. What's the name of Optimus Prime before he was Optimus Prime in the Dreamwave comics? And I'm like, I know, and I was the only one to raise my hand.
Well, it was in the script, but I don't remember if they said it.
They said his name was Optronics, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, they said it.
But anyway, if you remember, the Optimus became Optimus on Cybertron in whatever flashback episode, and Hot Rod was in orbit of Cybertron, at least, and Ultra Magnus is way away on the junk planet. So he didn't. So my thought that Primus didn't have a chance to okay him was the problem. I guess he got it. He tried to open it on the junk planet, right? He got it on Earth.
Well, I mean, as far as Rodimus or Hot Rod becoming Rodimus, you kind of learn in the Rebirth that Vector Sigma is the god of the Transformers, which is Primus, right? And don't question Vector Sigma's motives. Like Vector Sigma knows that this miracle is going to happen. So it knows that Unicron is going to attack the planet. It knows that Hot Rod is going to end up in the belly of the beast, and
Right.
is going to be there for the Matrix. The Matrix knows that Hot Rod is the chosen one. So, yeah. Optronics sounds like a brand of calculators.
Well, half of the Transformers names do.
Okay, Keldeo Studios wanted to know what our thoughts are on the Bayverse, knowing that I'm not a big Bayverse fan.
Well, my thoughts are, I heard it when the first movie came out. I heard that it wasn't that bad, and I went in and I watched it in the theaters, and I never watched it again, and I haven't watched any of the other movies in the Bayverse.
That's enough. That pretty much sums up a lot of Transformers fans, like of G1 fans, felt that way. Not everyone. Like some people just they appreciate it because it's Transformers, so they'll see it. But I know a lot of people who just refuse to see it because of that.
I did watch the first 10 minutes of Bumblebee. That was cool.
That was amazing. The whole movie was actually a good movie.
I'll try it out sometime, but yeah, I just want to see that scene.
I
think John Bailey plays like 3 characters in it or something. That scene.
He's Shockwave and Soundwave.
Right.
And it's interesting because he could have done Starscream, but they got David Soboleff for Blitzwing. But he's not really Blitzwing; he's just a Seeker.
Yeah, because they already used Blitzwing.
No, it's just because it was a Seeker comes in and is chasing down Bumblebee on Earth. When they first meet John Cena, which. When they announced John Cena, I'll admit to you, like the first thing that came to my mind was like, it's John Cena, like that whole meme, like with
You just had him play John Cena in the movie.
Yeah, he basically was John Cena in the movie. He was like,
that's like I thought. Okay, they've been trying to, of course, get Hugh Jackman to be in the Deadpool movies, but he said he's retired and he's not doing any more Wolverine. Just get him to be in the movie as Hugh Jackman. That'd be great.
That would be neat if they when they finally bring Wolverine.
Like he was revealed and everyone thinks it's Wolverine, and then Deadpool's just like, oh my gosh, Hugh Jackman, love you.
That would be an awesome, again, fourth wall break.
Yeah.
Program Man wants to know what your inspiration for Little Formers was.
Well, a guy named Matt Nelson had his own webcomic called Super Deformers, which is kind of the same thing, pretty much. And he did it much before me. But also Chris Giarrusso's Mini Marvels comics. He did a ton of them at Marvel in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
Combine those two things, I guess.
So it was pretty much like inspired by like what like someone else's like, and I think it kind of goes with anything that we ever do is like we're always inspired by people. That makes a lot of sense. Someone says that Galvatron looks like he's got a 5 o'clock shadow. That's because he's supposed to have that chin thing, that weird chin thing.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what you're trying to. I think that's what you're trying to compensate for.
Also, after I worked at Dreamwave, I just had all this Transformers knowledge in my head. Just things like because I had known so much at the time, like this thing is stupid or this thing is funny. It had to come out somewhere.
This is pretty much like a good like it's kind of like where my Transformers discussions started was like, everybody. If you remember back on the day, like in the message boards, people would say, who became Cyclonus, who was who at Rumble and Frenzy, the origin of the Constructicons, and it was literally a new, it was a new forum post, like a new forum topic, like every week. They just they would never let it go. And I said, you know what? I'm finally going to answer this once and for all. I'm going to do my own videos. And that's where like I started.
That's where my comics got really around, was on, say, on the TFW forums. The first one, it wasn't even a comic. I just drew a Shockwave, and then like, oh, I'll make him say something. He's just saying like, "Pew pew," a real Cybertron with cool sound effects. Someone said, do a warpath. Okay, I'll do a warpath. Do this guy. Okay.
And then it just took off.
Yeah.
John Cena takes Bumblebee with some wrestling moves. Which Blitzwing is better, animated or G1?
Animated's kind of like many faces, right?
Yeah. I like them both for different reasons. It's kind of hard to say.
G1 is scarier. Animated is sillier, I guess.
Let's
Okay,
see.
put a second shadow on this guy.
What is the name of the female Junkion that appeared watching TV record? I think her name is Nancy, named after like Nancy Reagan.
Even know about that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's Rekgar's girlfriend, Nancy.
Have anybody like third party or anything ever made any other Junkions? Like, there's a whole bunch of them.
No, I don't. Well, I think they've made like different like named ones like Scrap Heap and stuff, but they've never made because you know what I found interesting was they reused some of the Lithone planet that's in the beginning of Transformers the movie. They reused some of the animation models on Junkion.
Oh.
So what that tells me is that Lithone is actually a Cybertronian colony world. Sure. And I think that was Dreamwave's interpretation of it. Or Junkion was where all the junk went, right? So like using the space bridge technology created Junkion. Well, what if some of the body types for the Lithonians were on Cybertron when the space bridge technology turned them and sent them to Junkion. So that would kind of like, that's my theory, is that like that Lithone is actually and they also have alt modes in the comics.
Yeah, I remember that. I definitely had some of the comics for the movie.
Yeah, like the bio for Kranix actually has an alt mode for him.
It has like a spaceship with his face on it, right?
Yep, pretty much. Jack Harp III wants to know why Bumblebee flopped. I think it's because The Last Night sucked so hard.
Yeah, a lot of these movies now, it's not necessarily like the box office is a reflection of like in a series of the movie before.
Yep. Because everything is a franchise now.
Like, yeah, like I haven't seen Solo, but most people are like, oh, it was okay, it was fine, but it was just a reflection of people not liking The Last Jedi, I think.
Yeah, big time. I still have not seen Solo, and I did not see Rise of Skywalker in theaters.
I haven't seen that at all. After The Last Jedi, I don't need any more Star Wars movies. It's fine.
Yeah, Last Jedi did it for me. It was just never again. Like that was like they killed Star Wars, and so like when I went and actually saw it, like again, I didn't see it in the theater, but I did see The Last Jedi. I was like, I'm not going to what's it call it? Pay money for a franchise that literally told me that like, you enjoy things, well, kill the past, destroy it if you must, or whatever.
I don't know what they were going for in Last Jedi. The message is, you like those old Star Wars movies? Screw you. Yeah. Hey, how about if you like that new Force Awakens movie? You like that one? Screw you too.
Yep. And then the Rise of Skywalker tried to fix the problems of The Last Jedi, and it needed an entire movie to just fix the problems. of The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, Force Awakens is not the best movie ever, but I had fun. It was very like, okay, you didn't screw it up. Made it very safe. Didn't
It
screw
was
it up.
very. That was the thing. It was a safe movie, but then The Last Jedi was just. Oh.
I thought Finn was great in that first movie, and then they just didn't do anything with him after that.
So did all Lithonians perish in the film? Yeah. The entire planet got eaten up except for Kranix. His ship got away, and then he got caught by the junkie, or got caught on Quintessa. Which really is a question of who is Wheelie. Like, how did he land on Quintessa, and how did he survive? Armies of Alicons and Sharkticons.
Wheelie is the illegitimate son of Jazz. They've got the rhyming thing going.
Maybe. So some people call him the Jar Jar Binks of Transformers.
People hate Wheelie?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm thinking like, yeah, I guess I make fun of Wheelie in a lot of comics. So
I was in a someone did a Derivative Films is another YouTuber, and he had me. I went on his show, and he did a Space Ghost Coast to Coast like show with me as the guest for Me Grimlock Tonight. And Wheelie was basically Zarak, and Shockwave was Moltar.
Oh, that's great. That's perfect.
And what's it called? So I got a special delivery and hit a button, and then Wheelie got smashed by like a cannon or something. The audio levels could have used a little work in his video, but it was a really fun video to do.
I think even a character, like, everybody loves most of the Transformers characters. Like even a character like Wheelie, if there's a new version of him to just show up in whatever show, people like, hey, it's Wheelie, cool.
It might be like John Machida Jr. not doing Blur, like how they did in Cyberverse now. Like Blur doesn't talk fast anymore, so they probably make like a non-fast talking.
That's the whole point of Blur. That's his only characteristic.
Yeah, that's why you remember him.
Moves fast, talks fast.
Yep. If you take away a character's quirk or something that makes the character unique, then they just become another character. Adding like Bumblebee is supposed to be like a little kid brother. And it's kind of hard to have a little kid brother who can't talk.
Yeah. I never really got why, I guess because he's iconic, but I never got him as like a hero character. I guess it's the movies that pushed that.
Yeah.
Armada kind of did. You didn't really know, was Hotshot supposed to be Bumblebee or was it Hot Rod? Who was it supposed to be?
Actually, in initial promotional material, it was supposed to be Ratchet and Bumblebee. And they couldn't secure the names.
Yeah, I never thought of Bumblebee as the the young hero of Transformers. I thought of him as kind of the Snarf of Transformer. But because he's just, I don't know, he's small.
Yeah.
I would think of like who's the young hero of Transformers? I don't know, Prowl or Jazz or
Sideswipe.
Yeah, Sideswipe. Sideswipe's one of the most iconic toys for sure.
Mm-hmm. Optimus was like that Lone Ranger hero who would come in the last second to save the day. And, he would, like, that was Optimus. Ironhide was the guy who was like, I'll send him back to Cybertron as dust.
Yeah, you know who Bumblebee is? He's a Cheetor. He's like the Cheetor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cheetor, definitely like Cheetor.
He could be a hero eventually, but he's pretty young and makes mistakes and stuff.
So I'm trying to go back to one of the comments that had asked me this. You only saw the first Michael Bay film. Yeah. And you saw the first 10 minutes of Bumblebee. But they were asking me if I think they were at, what are our thoughts on Baver Sentinel? Because they in the third movie they did Sentinel Prime, the predecessor to Optimus,
Yeah,
and
I think I remember that, but I don't
he was
know.
voiced by Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, speaking of Leonard Nimoy, he was voicing Galvatron in the original 1986 movie.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't get some of those guys back for the show, because I understand you're not going to get Orson Welles to do your cartoon show even if he was alive.
Yep.
Or maybe
I'll tell you why.
what's his name, Judd. But
Michael Bay on interviews has literally said, "I don't want anything to do with the original Transformers."
okay,
why are you making this movie then?
Yeah,
like straight up said, like, you know what I mean? And so that's the reason why I have like such a disdain for him, is because he literally came out and said like he didn't want to make, like he didn't want to attract the audience of the original show. Yet,
I don't want those people to give me money.
Right.
My movie.
And then he had the audacity to say something. I think before the third movie came out, he said, "People would just see my movies anyway."
This is the thing about any modern reimagining of a property, where you're like, oh, no, this is for like young people. It's not for the old fans. Like, you know who has kids? Those old fans.
Yep. Exactly. Who was it? Was it Neon and Kiki Sparkle say that all the time in their show?
Yeah, I mean, if people say you're not the target audience, like, dude, I like the old She-Ra. I have a daughter, and she likes the old She-Ra. So she already knows who She-Ra is. But I'm not going to show her this new show that I don't like.
Yeah, yeah. And you say, well, that's gatekeeping. Well, I'm the dad.
Yeah, no, that's parenting.
It's called parenting 101. You don't let your kids see things that you know are not good for them.
She's a teenager. She can decide what she wants to watch, but I'm a parent right now. You got to decide what your kids watch.
Yeah, like, no, we're not watching that in the house, right? So that's the reason why, like, I have such a disdain for Michael Bay and his movies, is because he just has he had that attitude, and but fans pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. Megatron's face got changed in the final product of the first film because of fans. Peter Cullen was Optimus Prime in the movies because of fans. The fact that Aaron Archer was the head designer for Transformers and said, that's not Optimus Prime.
How could you not use Peter Cullen if you had the chance to use Peter Cullen? Like,
yeah, but not just
sounds
the voice.
Like him.
But not just the voice. The design for Optimus Prime in the first Michael Bay film did not have the horns. He was never going to have the faceplate. It was just like a weird shaped like ball of a head. And Aaron Archer said, that's not Optimus Prime. Sorry, that's not Optimus Prime. And I think he said at a TF Con was like, if you squint and look at Optimus, you can say that's Optimus. Because I firmly believe, I don't know about you, but characters should pass a squint test.
Oh yeah. Not just the great thing, but kind of the downside of Transformers, especially, that they are so iconic, basically just on a few details, and that's why it's so easy to make third-party figures that don't use the design at all of the actual character, the shape, but that's Optimus. He's red and blue. I can tell right away.
Yep. And if you can tell that that's Optimus, like, it passes a squint test. So the reason why the first movie, why Optimus Prime at least had the horns and had the faceplate, was because of Aaron Archer at Hasbro, and because he pushed, and he made sure that Bumblebee at least resembled Bumblebee. Right. And Bay did not want to do Frank Welker. He did not like. He's like, I heard Frank Welker's voice, and it was like, that doesn't work for Megatron. But then he ends up using them in the fourth and fifth movie.
Well, Frank Welker can do anything. So.
I know. And then Hugo Weaving is like, any character that Hugo Weaving has ever played, he's always had contempt for. Have you ever noticed that? Like what's the name of the elf in that he played in Lord of the Rings?
It's Elrond. Elrond? Is that
Elrond. I think it was Elrond. Yeah, it was Elrond and what's it called? What's his name? Elrond. That's it. And he also played the Red Skull in Captain America.
Yeah,
well,
once, and then it was somebody else.
And then he refused to play it again because he does not like playing those characters. He just he's apparently that's how he is. So
maybe he got sick of Agent Smith, so he's like, I'm just going to play people once. Sorry.
Yeah. There we go. Angry face Galvatron. Got to get that angry scowl. What the hell does Weaving? He wants to play Academy Award-winning movies. I think that's what it is. He's like, but yet he plays in so many like fan favorite stuff.
So I grab these colors. So.
G1, the movie, the Invincible Optimus scenes are better than all of Bay. I will say this much. The action sequences in the Transformers live action films, if you watch them without all the crappy human stuff, it's okay. It's fun. But you have to cut out so much human crap. That's how I feel about the live action films. Like there's too much human garbage, and the Transformers don't resemble anyone I know.
I'm of the thought that you want to focus on the Transformers. You need a couple humans around to make them look huge, but it's got to be a Transformers movie with some humans happen to be in it.
Remember when Cyclona sent Galvatron to a therapy session? Of course, Web World, one of the greatest G1 episodes ever. A pity you Autobots die so easily.
Oh, that looks like Galvatron.
What about the if you're going for the cartoon look on his legs? I think he has the like the lines on his legs.
Let's see. Well, he's got I've got an animation model. Kind of these back things. I gave him more of these toy feet, chunky feet.
Yeah, but if you look on the animation model over there, it's like the lines on the thighs.
Like these. Oh, I see. I know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I gave him like blocky thighs, but I can still put them on.
Most of Bay's design were twisted metal. I'll agree with that. And don't get me wrong, I like what the Bayverse did for the franchise, but I just like in one way, but another way I don't, because if you bring up Transformers now, people think of Michael Bay's Transformers. They don't think of.
Dude, I hate searching for reference on Google. It's like jazz, Transformers, like a bunch of movie jazzes.
Yeah. You don't have something that resembles the Jazz that you know. Well, Jazz is one of the most G1 looking characters in the Michael Bay films, and he's the one that gets killed.
Yeah.
And I love Jazz. So like Jazz should have been like one of the main heroes. Instead he gets ripped in two. Wow, you get that on there quick.
Oh yeah, I just use the same layer and everything. There's my color. I'll cut out these colors.
This line right here, I am directly below the enemy scrotum right here, is another reason to rag on Michael Bay.
Or Bumblebee peeing on a guy?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Ooh. It's my pen holder.
2 hours from concept to, from sketch to concept to full on drawing. Cartoon accurate with a little bit of extra detail. Oh, there's something on the things on his neck.
Sure.
The just like his thighs. I'm supposed to have that. I know I'm pointing things out on you, but sorry if I'm putting you on point, but
No problem. I might do some touch-ups on this later too.
how often do I plan to stream? I don't stream very often, but we're all home. We're all stuck inside. And I need to hunker down and write some scripts for everybody but I need to give everybody some solid entertainment. This has been, I think, a good entertainment for people because, you don't normally get an opportunity to see a good artist at work. I don't think of myself as a good artist, but, because but, to see the whole process from start to finish. But then again, my coloring work has been pretty good. I can say it's pretty solid. And I've learned some techniques from you.
Well, the main thing is, remember, this is the best tip I ever had. It's you got a balance between interest and realism. So, if there's a big empty space, so put on a transformer, put a highlight in there, like fill it in. Might not be 100% realistic, but it'll be more interesting looking.
Depends upon the the lighting source and stuff like that. But it's also a transformer too, so.
Okay, let's put him in the chart.
I think he works really well in the chart for sure. Wants to know if I have artwork for sale. I have my T-shirts with my logo, and I have on my Teespring store, and I also have. That's pretty much it as far as like that is concerned. But selling merchandise. I don't like, you don't put real Decepticon symbols on your
Oh, that's a safe thing. So don't put anything that might be actually trademarked, like a logo or a word, like Optimus Prime, or a logo like the Decepticon logo. So if you're selling fan art, try to keep that kind of stuff off. I mean, fan art, really go on about this forever, but fan art is all illegal. It's all illegal, 100% of it. But it's tolerated by companies.
Yeah.
Because one, it's too much trouble to go after one, or two, it might actually be positive as long as you're not making Optimus Prime kick babies or whatever.
Yeah.
It builds the fandom. So unless you're doing something really awkward or mass producing some product, they're not going to go after you. Even the third party stuff, Hasbro's official stance has always just been like, don't tell us about it. Just don't ask about it. That's it. And then
yeah.
Because if you ask about it, we got to go after them.
It's true. Because I'm pretty sure that Hasbro is well aware of my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I know this is because, do you know who is it FJ DeSanto?
That sounds really familiar.
He's the guy who did the show running for the Machinima series, and he's also doing the show running for the new Siege Netflix cartoon.
Okay.
He commented on my news page on my Instagram, and he's like, "Oh, trust me, it's better than Prime Wars," because he's. And I went, "Oh, okay, so I know that you watched my show then." Like, but the thing is that you hope that these companies like love your product, like love what you put out. I mean, you have official deals with Capcom for Street Fighter, but for Transformers, I wonder sometimes. I've always wondered like how, like if Hasbro knew about your Lowformer stuff. Um, and I guess like you're doing your own fan art is basically like Hasbro probably knows about it and just kind of like keeps on the hush.
Yeah, I mean, they don't. I don't know any fan arts that Hasbro has ever gone after. But some companies have.
Yeah, Disney is like number one.
Disney's like that. Funimation is pretty crazy. And they're just a sub-licenser. They're just licensing stuff from Japan.
Yeah.
Some reason Mainframe is really hardcore. Like, there's a lot of shows, like conventions here in Toronto where they'll say like, here's Artist Alley rules. Don't do this. Don't have adult stuff. Don't draw Mainframe characters. Okay.
So they tell you like.
Oh, they don't say Mainframe. They say don't draw reboot characters. But yeah, it's very, very specific. There's a few things on their list of, if you draw the fan art of these properties, we're going to ask you to stop, please, if you're just selling prints. And reboot is one of them.
So reboot is still a no-go, like completely for conventions now, or?
Well, at a couple conventions here in Toronto, I know it is. Because I guess maybe some of those guys go to those shows. I don't know.
But okay, gotcha.
They're not Mainframe anymore. They're called Rainmaker. Last I remember, that company, guys that did Reboot and Beast Wars. But
does like Hasbro owns the rights to transfer to Beast Wars though, right? Is that what you think is holding up some of the Beast Wars stuff too?
No, I think Hasbro owns it all.
Okay.
I think they got wise by then, by the 90s.
Yeah.
HBO and stuff. You'd be surprised though, companies that don't own things.
Yeah, like 2001 Robots in Disguise, I don't think is like one of them that is like still owned by Saban.
Yeah. Or even like Mega Man, any of the shows like Battle Network or
Super
Star
Fighting
Wars.
Robot.
Yeah, so the anime Mega Man shows, and like Capcom made a game for them, and somebody made an anime and somebody made a manga, and those couple versions of Mega Man are all co-owned by those companies. So you kind of get everybody. If you want to do something Battle Network, you got to get all of them to okay it, sort of a thing. Yeah, it's just like you said, like with Robots in Disguise, the way you said it, multiple people own it.
And a lot of people are commenting on the fact that like Megatron in that new Siege cartoon has big lips.
Does he?
Yeah, the lips are like super huge. It almost looks so weird. Do I like the new Transformers Megatron this year for Earthrise? Earthrise, I'm hoping is a good toy. I want to see more pictures of it because they only had the prototype at Toy Fair. So, but I'm curious about that. That Earthrise Skylinks looks amazing. I don't know if you're a big Skylinks fan, but
yeah, that's cool.
It's so cool that they actually licensed NASA to, and they're naming the shuttle the Magnificence for Skylinks' personality, which tells me that like, they're paying attention now to details, which is a good thing. So
Skylinks turns into an Archaeopteryx. At least that's how I interpret it. Do you have any of the? Oh, sorry. I was going to ask if you have any Machine Robo figures, the Action Toys ones. I freaking love them.
I don't. No, I don't. Not anymore. Like I had some like old GoBots toys growing up, but like I had Psykill and I had Leader One, and I had there was the Porsche.
Turbo?
No, it wasn't Turbo. It was the entire top of the Porsche car itself became his head. So the whole the windshield.
There's a whole series of those. They were like they're like the elders of the GoBots in the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand. Like the windscreen is supposed to be like his eyes or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I had the red one.
I had the silver one.
They had a bunch of. I don't know if they were all Porsches. They might have all been slightly different cars, but they all transform exactly the same. They were like super GoBots. They're double sized ones, right?
Yeah, he was a big toy. Definitely bigger than Leader 1.
But the last couple of years, the Action Toys Machine Robo figures are just amazing. They're like little masterpiece GoBots.
And I'd have to check them out, like the pictures and stuff. Like I'm really curious. Like Crasher, Lone Dragon saying like Crasher freaked him out as a kid. It's funny because over here, hold on a second. One of the Movieverse toys was like it wasn't supposed to be for the Movieverse, but it was actually it was Classics Mirage repainted as Crasher, but they had to name her Fracture. So and she has
really?
like the purple. Yeah, like in other words, like trademark her name is Fracture.
Oh, to trademark it, yeah, okay.
But it is Crasher,
I feel like these days they would just say Decepticon Crasher.
That's how they would do it nowadays. But and it was like according to GoBot's mythology, if I remember correctly, they were originally a humanoid-like race.
Yeah, they have like a brain and like I think a nervous system like inside the robot, like that, something like that is like left inside them.
Okay, so like that's what's inside their brain. So like in other words, it really is a female, but it's a robot. So, and
the toy just doesn't even have a face; it's just like a face plate and goggles.
They all were like that. Like even Leader 1 was like that weird goggle mouth.
Yeah, it looks like a jet intake or something.
Didn't know Crasher was a girl at first until Human referred to her as her. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try to grab one of my GoBots, see if my headphones reach far enough. There we go. Spacey. There we go. Okay. These guys are wicked. Let's see, I got Loco here.
Nice.
Like they're super articulated and everything, and these guys are wicked. What I got? Spacey, Space Shuttle.
Nice.
But they're by Action Toys. I think they did some third-party stuff, but these are officially licensed through Bandai. They specifically only have the rights to do characters that appeared in the Machine Robo Revenge of Kronos animated series. Which is a really weird license.
So it's only if it was in that in particular. So
only if it was in that anime. So, like, I think most of the main guys were in it, but like Scooter, whatever. I think he's just Scooter Robo in Japan. I think he wasn't in that show, so they can't do him. Things like that.
I want to answer this question here. Is it do I like G1 RC or Transformers Prime RC? And here's my answer to that, and it's a complicated one. I like Prime RC, but it's not RC to me, if that makes any sense. Transformers Prime RC actually turns into a motorcycle, and she's blue, but she's more of like, she's got a much different personality. And I view her as a completely different character. It's like I really like her character, but that's not RC. So
yeah, they just put her name on it.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like how like Bulkhead in Prime is very different than Bulkhead in animated, and yet both are based on the same design. Like Derek J. Wyant's version of like Bulkhead, like he did the character design apparently for, for the initial characters of Prime, and I think they were trying to do Ironhide, and when, as they were developing the character, like, this actually fits Bulkhead more. And so they decided to make it a Prime version of Bulkhead. So that's the reason why Ironhide was not in Transformers Prime.
I see.
And I said, you'd rather have Ironhide than Bulkhead. I agree. Totally agree. The Rainmaker, that's a question for another video. Oh, okay. The Rainmakers, there was 3 of them. which don't match your criteria for a class of '85 or '86 or.
Well, I could just color some up.
Yeah, do some of the Rainmakers, the Air Warriors, and I have a theory that one of, I have my theory on Transformers. Who was it? On Slipstream is that it's one of the Seekers in the More Than Meets the Eye pilot.
Yeah, I saw that video. I remember that one.
So it's just like a theory of mine.
I decided to cut doing my classes, guys. Like, I'll open up. I decided to definitely, okay, I'm going to only do guys that actually came out in the 80s. Because even just like, you know, where's the 1984? Cassettes, like.
Oh, yeah.
You could go on forever with all the repaints of the cassettes in Japan and like that. This is a low res.
As long as you have Buzzsaw, Rumble, Frenzy, and do you have Rumble and Frenzy there? Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Rumble. Okay, I was looking at it, and when I was looking at it on screen, it almost looked like it was, the Rumble was sound wave for a second there.
Oh, right. Okay.
You went toy accurate with Mirage, with the face.
Oh yeah, that head is so cool. The like Sphinx head.
Mm-hmm.
I love his head. I love Sunstreaker's head.
Is that toy accurate with Blue Streak, or is that with the silver chest?
Well, that's what I based that on. Wheeljack has a really hard to draw head. It's just awkward. I don't know what it is.
Because of the things on the sides.
I don't know. I think it's his faceplate that's just he's like a big bean. Hard to figure out what to draw. Also, Grimlock. I've always had trouble figuring out Grimlock's head, and I settled on this. What's this head shape? It's a lower res image, but
okay.
This is, I think, very much the toy.
Yeah. Some episodes were very toy accurate, and some heads were like that weird, funky head that they used, and I think that was a preliminary design for the head, like the head that they used in Heavy Metal War was like a prelim head. So, but then in later episodes, it was more toy accurate, like in the second season.
Beachcomber, he's so small, and his head is so weird and ill-defined.
Yeah, a good reference for. It was awesome. You did the Power Dashers and the Omnibots.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever drawn any of them before.
And I'm surprised that they look at they have different they're very, very different kinds of characters and toys.
The Power Dashes just don't belong. They feel like they came out of the 70s.
That's true. That is true. It's like they're older cars. For 86 though, you got to do RC.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm trying to decide if I'll put her in this individual printer. So once I'm done 86, I'm gonna do some kind of giant poster with everybody on it. I'll probably just stop there because there's a lot of guys once you get to 87. All the headmasters.
Oh yeah. That's gonna take you, because then you almost have to do like the heads themselves, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of non-iconic characters when you get to 87. But yeah, I think I don't know how I'll do it. I'll put it on these individual prints or not, but I'll do RC. I'll go back, and maybe I should have done it before, but I'll do a bumper.
Okay.
1984.
RC is like part of the 86. She's supposed to have a toy. She was supposed to.
Yeah.
You know, Mirage's head looks so much like a Seeker's that I figured that maybe he was half Seeker, and that's why Cliffjumper didn't trust him. That's funny. Which of Matt's Little Formers do I like the most? I've liked them all since since you started. I'll be honest with you. Like I've enjoyed your comic series since you started it, and I think I remember when you first started the post, like you were just like, because that was like what, back in, God,
I don't know. I signed them. Let me go see. Website. Here, I'll bring my website over here. This is like several versions of my website later, redesigned, but it says 2006 on it, so I must have drawn it in 2006.
Okay. Yeah. By that point, I had already joined 2005, TFW 2005, or I think it was maybe like a couple of issues in when you first I think you were like a couple of maybe like 10 or 15 in.
Yeah, let's take this Soundwave comic, the first Little Formers, and put them beside my recent Shockwave. See if I got any better. I think he looks a little better now.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think the first one you did has a little bit more, like the legs are a little, yeah.
I also drew this on paper back then.
Melvor, no, you didn't miss Top Spin and Twin Twist. You actually, they were there.
They're here. Let's see. There's my
The Jump Starters. You probably have to do the Battle Chargers too. And you said like pretty much like RC is probably going to be your only non-toy character, I guess.
Yeah, she seems important. And I'm gonna draw what are their names? There's Scamper, and I think he's called Six Gun. The guys that come with Metroplex.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Six Gun and Scamper. Slammer, I don't think you necessarily. It's just a tank.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't draw Roller for Optimus Prime.
Yeah, Matt said, "You love your 2000 comic on Fear Rib." Well, yeah, that's what I. One of the things I referenced in my Fear Rib video. Will you draw the other 1985 through 1987 combiner teams? Well, you already did Devastator, so you're going to do.
Yeah,
I'm
going to draw all the individual guys. No, I don't have them sorted well.
Cog and Brunt would be Cog is from Fortress Maximus, and I don't think you were planning on 87 yet, right?
Yeah, no, I might. I mean, I'll probably keep drawing guys, but I just won't have a goal of drawing everybody. But also I'll draw a nice a nice Fort Maximus and Scorponok and stuff.
You're saying like Orion, Paxton, Dion.
There we go.
Yep. I'm the blue one. I'm the red one. Got it.
It's not that hard to figure out.
You know what's funny? John Warden at Toy Fair in that whole presentation was like, "Oh, here's Rumble. Wait, no, that's Frenzy." Like he acknowledged Fear Rib, and I was like, "Yes." Can I draw? Yes, I can draw. I do have a pretty good artistic talent. It's just I don't show enough of it off, I think. I'm wondering what people have been thinking about my color work on coloring in Casey Collar's artwork. What would you say from a professional standpoint from somebody who's doesn't work in the industry?
Oh, it depends what you're going for. It's a little flat, but that's what you're going for. Kind of going for an animated look, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was more going for like a cartoon like style. I mean, I do add cell shading and stuff like that, but the cell you didn't see you did see the finished products on Twitter.
Yeah.
So like a lot of that stuff, I do add a lot of shading, but
yeah, but you're going for the classic animated series look a little bit. My guys are all really shiny.
Like your Galvatron was very shiny there. Ooh, shiny.
Okay.
Wow, we've been on for 2.5 hours. This has been fun.
Yeah. do it again sometime.
Yeah, we definitely should do it again sometime. Certainly enjoyed seeing your artwork. If you guys have not seen his, if you've not seen his website before, go on lilformers.com. Again, I'll post that right here. And I will display it, lilformers.com, to check out his website, check out his stuff. You can find Matt on Twitter if you're on Twitter at lilformers, at the symbol at lilformers. I think that's the only your only social media for public.
Well, anything. No, I have an Instagram. I have a DeviantArt. Just go to lilformers.com and they're all linked there.
Okay. I don't know when my next live stream is going to be, but I do have some more content that I'm going to be making. You can also check out my second channel, which is Rodimus Primal Talks, although I do need to make another video for that. I haven't made a video in a while on that second channel, but I've kind of been in a funk this week. I just wanted to do coloring work, so it was fun. Yeah, doing artwork stuff.
I'm gonna plug one work thing while I'm here. I guess.
Go for it.
New Mega Man Robot Master Field Guide, which is basically Mega Man encyclopedia. So this is a new hardcover edition and updated with the recent guides from Mega Man 11. So you see every page has a Robot Master and
dude, that is awesome.
Their weaknesses and stuff. So yeah,
that is awesome.
Where's a new guy? Let's see, Mega Man 11 guy. There's somewhere. I guess there's only 8 of them. Here we go. Acid Man. He's one of the new guys. So yeah, giant book of just tons of profiles of every Mega Man boss, and all the main good guys like Proto Man and Bass and Roll and Rock and all kinds of stuff. So. And
cool.
So that's coming out at the end of April, assuming Amazon shipping and stuff gets back to normal by then.
yeah. Tentatively April, but it is coming out soon. Very, very cool. But definitely check out his stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, but I'm going to end the stream at this point. And you guys have a good night. I'm a little tired myself, but
well, thanks for having me, man.
Of course.
Thanks everybody for coming.
All right, I'm going to end broadcast.